This is where you realize number one, you're either a winner or a loser. Look, I 50x my income when I changed my life. I'm doing better than everyone else I know. No, I'm not even joking.
Hello. What's up, everybody? Welcome. Hi. Oh boy, I'm so sleepy today, so I would like to apologize for all of the yawning that I'm probably going to be doing on this stream. I have been sitting in this exact position for about 6 hours, so somebody send help. How's everybody doing? Suzanne says, last stream of the year, we better get rich today. The pressure is on. Ain't that the truth? I saw Amy had commented before we started streaming about why this is the last live stream. The 12 days of Coach Miss is coming on Friday for channel members, Saturday for the rest of you. And that means that all day, every day between now and December 24th, I'm going to be filming and editing YouTube videos. So I figured we could take a break from streaming and you guys can enjoy those videos. And then my mom is in town for Christmas. So unfortunately for you, I have to spend time with my family. So then I'll be back when I can. If I feel up to it, I might do some more like casual style live streaming just while I'm like editing and stuff, but no solid Monday night 2-hour long streams. Okay. Harrison says, last chance for a scammer to come through for us downline. Have faith. And we're going back to one of the channel's tried and true favorite recurring characters. So honestly, I feel like tonight might be our time to shine. Aaron says, but all I've done is make one person's gift so far. It can't be that close. I hate to break it to you, but okay. So let's get into our usual drink segment. Once again, Cove Soda. If you're in Canada, this stuff is really freaking delicious. This is the cranberry flavor. I think I tried it on stream a couple weeks ago. It's really good. It's like cranberry flavored ginger ale. But it's kind of like poppy, I guess, if you're in the US. It's probiotic soda. So it's supposed to be like healthier soda. And I am just like the epitome of health and good habits. No, I'm not. So that's why I'm drinking it. Delicious. Run to your latest nearest Costco and buy it for yourself. Okay. Hillary says, I'm here, locked in, ready to get rich. That is the attitude we need. I did want to tell you guys a funny story that happened to me yesterday, though, before we get into this, just because I feel like you'll think it's funny. I am going to make it into a YouTube short, I think, but I was laughing so hard yesterday when this happened to me. So I log on to YouTube and I have notifications. So I click on the notification and YouTube has informed me that someone may be using my material in their YouTube videos. So if you are someone who posts content on YouTube, the algorithm basically will like scan YouTube to see if anyone's duplicating your videos. And so, for example, I have a video that has like over 1 million views. And there have been multiple times where people have downloaded that video, posted it to their own channel. I guess the idea is that they hope that it will also get millions of views so that they can monetize off it. I don't really know. So anyway, I get this notification of a potential copyright infringement. So I have the option as a creator to go in and like review all of these copyright issues to see which ones are legitimate issues and which ones aren't. So like, for example, there was an individual I interviewed on my channel and he took our video and downloaded it and uploaded a copy to his own YouTube channel, which is fine. So like that shows up in my copyright sort of list of videos I could potentially file a copyright strike against. But like that one I don't care about because he was in the interview. So if he wants to use it, that's fine. But I then see this video that has my picture in the thumbnail, but it's not the thumbnail from my channel. It's like an AI generated version of my thumbnail. So out of curiosity, I click on this video and it opens to one of my videos from like 3 years ago, but like clearly downloaded and reposted to his channel with a different title. And again, this weird thumbnail. So then I like start to dig a little bit deeper, and the handle that they're using is It's Danielle. So my handle is at It's Danielle Ryan, but if you look down below of this video, you'll see Danielle Ryan. So there said It's Danielle, and it was very clearly like an AI photo of me. So I click through to the channel and this is what I see. So whoever this person is, presumably someone like overseas, I feel like probably this is what they do, has downloaded my YouTube content and made an entire channel with these horrible, like some of these are actually pretty good. I kind of like this thumbnail, to be honest. But like this, what's going on here? Just like really terrible AI generated, clearly, thumbnails of my videos. So some of them are the same title from the videos on my channel. And then some of them are like titles that they made up on their own. And it was just so funny. Like I was laughing so hard when I found this, like the eyeballs up here, hilarious. Like what the heck? Yeah, this is wild. What is happening? So anyway, I wanted to show this all to you before I send them a copyright strike, but it was like, this is crazy. I mean, at least they're not getting way more views than I am, because then I would be a little bit upset, but I thought this was so funny. I wanted to show you guys. Yeah, what is happening here? Especially like, I don't know. I want to zoom in a little bit. Like, it's funny because like this one kind of looks like me, but then not really. So I'm like, what's happening? What's up with my nose in this picture? I'm just like, so funny. Yeah, crazy work. So all that to say, this is just, the behind the scenes of what happens when you're a content creator, and never a dull moment. Yeah, all that work for only 13 subscribers. So funny. Okay, sorry, Amy. I saw your super chat, but I wanted to finish my story first. So thank you so much. Amy sent $5 and she said, donation for the dog's butler fund, since Danielle wants to slack boss babing to apparently spend time for this family we've never seen in real life. So true. I will give you this sound in exchange.
Selma, it's your fucking fault. So why don't you go yell at yourself for taking this long?
Why don't you go yell at yourself, Amy, if you're so upset that I'm not going to be live streaming, okay? And don't forget this.
Either get there or die trying, but damn sure don't be average.
Don't be average. Yeah, what in the Black Mirror is happening? Thank you so much, Amy. Scam inception. I guess it's flattering in a way. Yeah, it's like, I don't know why you picked me, but that is very, very funny. Anyway, I digress. As I mentioned earlier, today we are going to be going back to our roots, back to our internet bestie, the one, the only, Stacey Bayman. We're going to be listening to a podcast episode that came out earlier this month. This was sent to me via my reaction form. Thank you so much. And I think it'll be an interesting listen, particularly if people are familiar with kind of like the state of coaching right now, and how like a lot of these top leader sort of upline coaches are not doing the numbers they were doing in 2020, 2021, 2022. I think that the days of easily being able to sell high ticket group coaching programs are gone, in my opinion. And I think it'll be interesting because the topic, for those of you that are only listening, the title of this podcast is Uncertainty Tolerance. And I guess I'm just curious if she's going to discuss any of the uncertainty she's been experiencing in her own business, or if, much like a lot of the content we've observed of hers in the past, she's going to kind of, embellish the truth to suit whatever narrative she's trying to push. Zip is saying, the video you were in... Okay, I did see your comment at the beginning. I saw a video this weekend where Danielle made a brief cameo appearance. The video you were in for a few seconds of an hour-long video was, what's the difference between science and pseudoscience? I did see that. She did tag me in the description, but I only was able to watch like the first 5 minutes of it so far. So it is on my to-watch list, but I haven't seen it yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into this, as I've yapped for the last 12 minutes. But let's go and see what our best friend has to say about uncertainty tolerance. I guess I'll read the description first. So here it says, what happens when you're getting closer to your goal deadline, but the results haven't shown up? Most coaches start to lose belief and grab for the comfort of certainty, even if that certainty is failure. But the ability to hold uncertainty without quitting is the most important skill you'll ever build in business. In this episode, I share what it means to develop uncertainty tolerance, a concept I teach inside of my Revenue Challenge, 200K Mastermind, and $2 million group. You'll learn why your brain prefers the safety of a predicted failure over the discomfort of not knowing, and how this pattern shows up from a very beginning of your coaching journey, all the way to scaling to millions. I also share real examples from my own business of how holding uncertainty led to breakthroughs that changed everything. Okay. Hillary says, agreed. My original coach is now largely doing social media management for businesses, presumably to supplement coaching income, although she's still launching start your own coaching business programs. Yeah, that's definitely a trend I've been noticing, is coaches shifting away from these like larger high ticket offers, as I mentioned, but also just like completely changing businesses. So I know social media management is one I've definitely seen as well. There's another woman that I used to follow who's now a virtual assistant. And then another one runs like a content agency, basically. So similar to what I do, she does like UGC work and ads for businesses and stuff like that. So I definitely think there is this sort of progression away from what we were seeing super popular in like 2020, 2021, that time period. I have one of my videos for the 12 Days of Coachmas, same to last year. The last video of the series is going to be a predictions for 2026 video. And so I was asking on Threads last week what people were predicting. And there seems to be a consensus that a lot of the work is shifting from these like large group mastermind style coaching into the more like one-on-one hyper specific coaching services. So it'll be interesting to see as we continue into the new year. Okay, let's go ahead and see if this will work. I don't usually use Apple Podcasts, so do I have to sign in or no? Oh my God, I hate her intro so much. Okay.
Much to say. I'm really excited. Today we're going to talk about uncertainty tolerance, and I am certain it's going to change your life. And then I have coming out a 10 episode podcast series, a little bit of a tongue twister, for my top, like, if I could narrow down top 10 lessons for the last 10 years that I've been in business. And so we're going to be airing those coming up, and I'm really excited about them. I think there's going to be some extraordinary learning and encouragement in those episodes. So I hope that you tune in. But I feel really compelled to share this message today. I am in the Revenue Challenge. This is something that I do with my 200K Mastermind and my $2 million group. Every round that I run these masterminds. So this is a high level, advanced concept challenge skill set that I teach. I believe the lesson I'm going to
Sorry, I was just mocking her, so it's probably best you didn't hear me anyway.
share today is life-changing and business-changing, for lack of just better words, from the ground up. Like if you've never made $1, this episode is for you. And if you are wanting to create your first 100K launch or your next $1 million launch, this episode is for you.
Okay, guys, get your red flag bingo cards out. This is a one-size-fits-all solution for any business making any amount of money or maybe not making any money at all. You could be super rich or super poor, and I'm so smart that no matter what I say, it will be helpful for you.
I'm going to give some examples of even me and my business recently in the last couple of years throughout this episode. So I can't stress it enough. No matter where you are in business, listen to this episode and what I'm going to share with you. It could be the thing that unlocks for you. So tolerance for uncertainty. Let's talk about it. So when you have a goal, let's talk about a finite goal. That's what we're doing in the revenue challenge. So that's what I consider like more of an infinite goal. Could be like a year-long goal. Like, oh, I want to make 100K in a year. It just feels like such a long amount of time, even though it is a finite period of time. It feels like such a long period of time. It's really easy to just believe it's going to happen and then suddenly it doesn't. And this is
this is 1x speed.
what happens with a lot of people. But when we're talking about a 30-day period or a one launch period, when we're talking about a condensed amount of time, I always say like, that's when the shit gets real, y'all. When there's a time frame on it. But I am going to give examples of even a year. But when you have a goal in a period of time, a finite period of time, there will be a large amount of uncertainty that comes up, a large amount of certainty present between what you want, the action and you are taking to get it, and the time that you're putting in to get it, and then the result coming in. So you desire something, you go after it, and in that going after it, even in the desiring something, the going after it, and then the time between when the results come in, all of that time, think about it, all of that time is uncertainty.
Okay, so in the time you think of something you want, and then the time you're taking to have the thing, and then having the thing, that's all uncertain. That's what she's saying? I'm like, this word salad is so large, I am having difficulty following what she is saying.
Start a business. I don't know if I can. I want to sign my first client. I don't know if I can. Will I make it in business? Will I be able to make money? Will I be able to replace the income of my job? Will I be able to make 100K this year? Will I be able to do my first launch and sell out my group program? Right? It's all uncertainty. And what happens when you are actively going after something in a finite period of time, the closer you get to the finish line, the less your brain is going to want to tolerate all of that uncertainty. Especially if like you're really resistant to the not knowing. So this tends to be people who really need to know, right? People who would typically go get a full-time job, corporate route, like school route, like certainty makes me feel safe. There are entrepreneurs tend to be people who have higher risk tolerance, but I think the world is now kind of gravitating towards entrepreneurship. So a lot of people are jumping on board and not really, maybe they don't have this developed yet, or they don't realize this is required, but I just see it come up a lot. Even the people that are the most risk tolerant still experience this feeling of, I don't know what's going to happen. And so you have a large amount of this that comes up in your body, that feeling. And if you are resisting it because it doesn't feel good, because it's scary, because you don't have power over it, you feel like you don't have control, right? You experience a loss of control and uncertainty. If this feels like a really scary place, if this takes your body into fight or flight, like if you have if there's not allowance, like anything that isn't allowance of uncertainty, the closer you get to the finish line, the more tired your brain will get of dealing with the uncertainty and resist.
Okay, but Are there people who are just like, I don't know what's going to happen, so it's totally fine? Like, I am just very confused. Much to Hillary's point, she said, I like how she's explaining the very real and normal concept of risk tolerance, but using so much word salad that it makes no sense. I am like trying to listen so carefully, and I have no idea what she's saying. I'm like, why is this taking you 5 minutes to tell us this story? Like, I feel like this could have been a single sentence.
Listing it and not allowing it. And even when you're allowing it, I still feel like from my experiences, like I've had years where I'm allowing uncertainty, and it's a constant bringing my brain back to tolerating it because my brain just doesn't want to tolerate it. I think all of our brains don't want to tolerate it. So as you're doing this,
Exactly.
the closer you get to the finish line, the less your brain is going to want to tolerate the uncertainty. So what it does is it's going to want to give you a prediction of the end result.
Okay, so what I think she's saying, and again, please help me if you understand her better than I do. What I think she's saying is, like, you set a goal. So let's say I'm a coach and I want to fill 10 spots in my coaching program by January 1st. As the days go by and we get closer to January 1st and I've only sold 2 out of 10 spots, I basically have a choice to decide whether or not I think, miraculously in the last 3 days before January 1st, I'm going to sell the other 8 spots that I haven't filled yet. Or is my instinct going to be like, oh, well, I guess I couldn't sell all 10 spots, so I might as well quit. I think that's what she's saying. But again, she's saying it in such a complicated way that I'm not sure that I'm following correctly. Okay, William says, I think all she said is the feeling of uncertainty increases when close to a high. Yeah, okay. So it's like as the deadline approaches, you start to become more nervous about whether or not you're going to reach the goal. Again, not necessarily untrue. I just don't know why we're saying it like this. Like, it feels like she's overcomplicating something that is very straightforward.
In order to end the uncertainty, it's going to want you to go ahead and believe as probability what it's predicting the outcome will be. Like, this is probably what's going to happen. So that you, like, if you can see it, like, okay, I see the finish line, I see what I think is going to happen, then I can get into certainty and I can have relief. And it will start organizing proof to show you that it's right about what it's certain of. So you're in this finite period of goal setting and taking action. The result hasn't come in yet. You're getting closer and closer to the designated time period you gave yourself. You haven't seen results yet. Or maybe you've seen results, but not results that maybe match up what you're expecting or what you're trying to create. The uncertainty starts really stacking, like you're really feeling the heaviness of it. Your brain is not tolerating it, not wanting the uncertainty. So it starts organizing the proof to show you, like, here you go. I'm certain of this thing, this outcome, and here's all the proof to match what I believe is going to be the outcome. The problem is our brain is not set to do that for positive outcomes. So our brain isn't...
According to who? I'm not allowed to expect that good things are going to happen. Isn't that what all of the manifestation girlies have taught us? If I've learned one thing that may or may not be true from watching all of the nonsense on this channel, it's that if I believe that good things will happen, I'm going to get rich. So which story is true? Because y'all are contradicting each other. Okay? Okay. Hillary wants you all to place your bets. How long until she connects high uncertainty tolerance to equal paying for more coaching when you're not making any sales? Let us know.
Designed to say there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know if this is going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. Here's all the proof that it's going to happen. I wish our brains did that. I wish our brains, when we were in the middle of it, in the thick of it, I wish it was designed to offer us positive feedback. Look, here's how we know it's going to happen. Look at this positive outcome. Did you see this traction you got here? I mean, that was really positive engagement. That seemed to be working. I think you're going to make it, girlfriend. Let's go. Keep going. You've got this. Here's all the evidence I have for why it's going to work out. I wish that our brains did that. Some of you might have brains that do that. My brain does not do this. And the majority of the people that I coach on a weekly basis, their brains don't do this either. Their brains do the opposite, right? The proof is always that the probable outcome is always that you're going to fail, right? Probable outcome failure. Here's all of the evidence that I'm going to show you to prove that that's correct, right? That you aren't going to create what you want. And if you haven't been looking for tangible proof of the opposite, that you will succeed and that you are going to create what you want, like if you haven't been gathering evidence along the way.
Exactly, Erin. I'm right there with you. Erin says, some people are real big on the toxic positivity, though. I think she is discounting every single manifestation coach who ever existed. I'm just saying.
Or creating evidence in your brain, reinforcing that it's going to happen. If you haven't been seeing any traction yet, right? If you haven't been getting feedback that it is happening, if you haven't been like having engagement and having people reach out that they're interested in, having people book consults or having people click on your sales page, if you haven't been getting that,
you're probably selling something people don't want. So why would I engage with it if I'm not interested?
You'll be very inclined to grasp for the certainty of failure to release you from the tension in your brain and your body of holding the uncertainty. Like you would rather grab this is just our brains, grab the certainty of failure than hold the uncertainty of possible success the closer you get to the finish line, if it looks like or even feels like there could be a remote potential for a missed expectation, a disappointment, or a failure, right? So this could look like I have no consultations on the books and I'm getting close to my deadline for my goal. I haven't made any money yet. I've been at this for 3 weeks and there's no traction. It's the final day of my launch and I'm not even close to my goals. We just started the launch and the sales are already down from what I expected. So I'm already failing, right? Your brain would rather grab for the certainty of loss than keep tolerating the uncertainty of potential loss or potential win. It's wild. The loss feels too heavy to hold, and the possibility to win feels too small to be true.
I don't even know what she's saying anymore. I'm very lost. This comment says she's trying to twist on cognitive behavioral therapy with this and failing and not naming it because she isn't a licensed therapist. She's actually not naming it because she's trained by Brooke Castillo, who basically took, allegedly in my opinion, cognitive behavioral therapy, renamed it the model, and then teached it. I need to go back and get an education. Then she taught it to all of her coaches. So Stacy was trained by Brooke Castillo and was introduced to the model, which is basically like taking ownership over your thoughts and recognizing that your thoughts create your reality. So she's probably taking that and then butchering it here. I am so lost, though. I don't know where she is going.
So we just are like, okay, it's got to be a fail. You give in, you fold, you quit, you grab the certainty, right? That it isn't happening this time either. I can't tell you how many people have said, I don't goal set because every time I try, I always fail. And I'm always wondering, did you really fail? Like, what was the fail? Was the fail, I gave it absolutely everything my all. I stayed in belief the entire time. I evaluated and kept taking more action, kept getting more creative, kept problem solving at the highest level possible, saw it all the way through the finish line, extended the finish line, kept going. Like, did you really? Or at what point did you give up? Did you stop putting energy, stop putting value, stop connecting to it, stop believing, stop serving? Like, it isn't happening this time either is more like I didn't happen this time either. And then
again, this feels very twisty to me, as in, okay, so I have this coaching program. I want to book out 10 spots by January 1st. January 1st comes, I've only sold 2 spots. I have put in the work. I have been showing up. I have been doing it despite not seeing the results, contrary to her belief, where she's telling me, well, actually, maybe you didn't really commit all the way. Okay, let's say I did. If I'm selling something people don't want to buy, no amount of believing in myself is going to make it sell. But why don't we want to admit that? Oh, I know why. Because no one will buy my shitty coaching program if they don't realize that I'm selling something that no amount of coaching is ever going to make somebody else want to buy. Hi. Amy, thank you so much. Amy sent $5 and says, every time I gave a chance because he had potential, it didn't work out. He was in fact a loser. So no, don't look for the potential. And to that, I have the perfect sound if I can find it.
I was exhausted being a loser. Now I'm exhausted being a winner.
I am exhausted being a winner. And to this, I will also say this.
I'm always baffled when people don't have a life coach or don't want one. I'm like, what? It's the most amazing thing ever.
It's the most amazing thing ever to have a life coach. So you should all join the Danielle Ryan Life Coach certification for $1.99.
And what happens is the cycle of the result not happening is just reinforced again in your brain, right? Like, see, I can't do it. It didn't happen again. So the probability of it ever happening is even smaller. And then each attempt after you go in with a higher amount of certainty that you're going to fail and a higher amount of uncertainty tolerance. Like, I just can't handle any more potentialness to fail. I can't handle the unknown because I believe so deeply the unknown is going to be bad that the unknown feels so terrible. Right? I've tried this many times and it's never worked. Versus you could say the reality from this moment on could be I've not yet developed the tolerance for this uncertainty. So I keep grabbing for the certainty of failure and then proving it to myself through my thinking, through my actions,
So she's suggesting that the reason why we're failing is because we've convinced ourselves we only know how to fail. And the reason why we're not succeeding is because we don't believe we're capable of succeeding. Am I following this correctly?
The way I feel while I try to go after this goal, which is not the same, right? You grabbing for the certainty of failure so that you don't have to feel uncertainty, you quitting ahead of time, you reinforcing that it's not going to happen, that version of you, even if you're like getting your body to still take action and make offers and send emails and go live and write podcasts, that version of you is not the same version of course I'm going to do this. Of course I'm going to win. I'm totally going to create this result. I'm so excited. Like I always say, when you believe you're in demand and you believe your offer is in demand and you believe you will create the result, it's like you're hosting the best party ever and you've got so many RSVPs and you know the party is going to be amazing. The thought that you put into it, into creating it and designing it, hosting it, everything is so high.
Exactly. Suzanne, this is my point. Suzanne's saying, in her point of view, is it ever worth walking away? Like perhaps it failed because the idea isn't that great. When we gaslight ourselves into thinking that it was our mindset or we just weren't fully committed, blah, 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 we really remove that opportunity, I think, to be objective and to analyze, okay, why didn't this offer sell? Why didn't this program hit? I mean, I see this a lot in the content creator space where, you know, people will post a video, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, and it flops. And they're thinking like, why doesn't anyone support my content? And I could sit here and I could say like, oh, my latest video, you know, didn't even get 1,000 views because I didn't approach it with the right mindset. But like, that's not actually going to help me make it so that the next video I post actually gets 1,000 views, right? It's much more productive to analyze things from a logical perspective of What are the things that I can change about the actual offer itself to make it more enticing versus how can I change my mindset and belief to make people want to buy? Like maybe people don't want what you're selling and that's why there's so much uncertainty. Perhaps if you actually sold something that there was a market for, you wouldn't be in this situation, but it doesn't allow for that opportunity for reflection. It's so frustrating. Yeah, maybe she's trying to stop people from admitting to themselves that the advice of coaches doesn't work. Ain't that the truth? So if you take action, but you aren't excited that it doesn't work, yeah, that's the conclusion I'm getting from what she's saying. That's how I'm interpreting it. And I just think that that is so unrealistic. Thank you so much, Amy. Amy gifted a channel membership to, I believe it went to John Mark. So to that, I will say this.
Now you are one of us. One of us. One of us.
Thank you so much. Hillary says, it's literally just a cult at this point. Never give up, never leave. Allegedly, in my opinion. And allegedly, in my opinion, you're not allowed to say that. There will be no questions allowed to be asked here because I don't want to have to reflect on my own thoughts. I'm pretending to be Stacy in this circumstance. And if you ask me questions that make me have to question whether or not I actually know what I'm talking about, to the door. I don't want you here. Goodbye. Emily says, imagine using this line of thinking about anything else. I just like so many times this podcast, so much coaching content that I've seen over the years, stuff that pops up on my Instagram feed, on Threads. Every time I see it, I think if I applied this to literally any other business, it would not make sense. I made a post on Threads a couple weeks ago talking about how basically if you've ever spent any amount of money on a coaching offer and you didn't end up getting the thing that you were promised, that, and then you like gaslit yourself into thinking that you got some other kind of return on investment aside from whatever outcome was promised to you, that you're in a cult and you're actually like being told not to question why you didn't get what you paid for. And the number of coaches that replied to that trying to be like, well, you just don't understand how business works. I'm like, no, the problem is I do understand how business works. And that's why this is so fucked up. Because once you start to see how every other industry outside of coaching operates, you realize how twisted it is to be told to think like this. Jean Marc says, thank you, Amy. So kind, especially for Christmas. So true. I'm just catching up on the rest of the comments. She can't help the people with their marketing because she only knows, the only marketing she knows is how to promise them how to make $1 gazillion. Yeah, back to our conversation earlier about a lot of these coaches leaving the industry or transitioning more into like other services. Super interesting to see the like deconstruction of the marketing that was taught in the industry. I know I experienced this when I left sort of like coaching spaces and the type of marketing you learn in coaching. It did take me a while to really be aware of like certain language that I was using in my marketing that was ultimately quite manipulative because that's how I had been taught to market. And so like unlearning that over the years was definitely a process because it's just so prevalent in the industry, like the way that you convince people to buy. And it's certainly something you have to spend time deconstructing.
Because you're just so excited. That's not the version that we bring to ourselves, to our goals most often. And I know that this might sound crazy, right? That we would rather the known, even if it feels crappy or is unhealthy, we would rather that than the unknown. Like we would rather, like our brain actually creates safety in believing we're going to fail for ourselves. It actually creates more safety there than leaning into belief that you could do it. You will feel more unsafe leaning in to positive expectation than you will negative expectation. It's wild. And this is how our brain operates. It feels safer with negative expectation. It feels safer with the certainty that you will fail than facing the uncertainty and keeping going.
Again, where is she pulling that stat from? Is that true? Because I don't think that's true. Doesn't our brain crave safety? So then I'm confused. I'm very lost.
Not knowing if you're going to fail or not. We tell ourselves, like subconsciously, I'd rather just know I'm going to fail and be done with it than deal with how the uncertainty feels in my body. And we tell ourselves we're crazy or impractical to believe in the positive wanted outcomes without proof. Like anytime you say I'm kidding myself, right? That's you telling yourself you're crazy and impractical for believing a positive wanted outcome. That's what you're telling yourself. But most money made for the first time, or more money than you've ever made before for the first time, isn't going to be known. Entrepreneurship does not have yellow flashing lights pointing you in the right direction. It feels more like you're blindfolded, stumbling in the dark, hands out, trying not to fall, and believing that whole time that you're going to find your way no matter how many things you knock into. So you have to maintain certainty in the positive wanted outcome through the finish line, beyond the finish line. The moment you give up and you stop trying, you drop your energy, you drop your service, you stop problem solving, you stop thinking creative, you stop connecting, you release the desire for the outcome because you tell yourself it's not possible. So why would I desire something that is not possible? It's all gone. Poof. And anything that you had built up and you had going for you, much of which was probably invisible to you, growing under the surface, all of that stops. It's like you're boiling water, and the moment you turn the heat down, the boil stops. But it's not that the water wasn't actually boiling, you turn the heat down. Or that you can't boil water. You turn the heat down, right? The problem is in entrepreneurship and in making money, we can't see the boiling point. It happens sometimes quite invisibly. It's like nothing's happening.
What the hell is she talking about, guys? I am so confused. I'm trying so hard to listen and I just don't understand what she's saying. Why?
Nothing happening, nothing happening, nothing happening. Bam! Client shows up out of nowhere. I actually have a podcast about this where I had students record their stories of signing clients out of nowhere. No expectation, had no idea someone was following them and paying attention to them. No idea someone was considering coaching with them. Bam! Client shows up, reaches out. I've been following you for a long time. I think I'm ready for coaching. You can go find that episode and listen to it. It's such proof of this conversation. I had a client recently that was failing webinar after webinar after webinar, and then they just got their first 5 sales on their webinar without doing a consult. On the webinar, 5 people sending payment notifications coming in. No indication that that was going to happen. So you have to keep going through the finish line with belief, with positive expectation, giving the service, problem solving the whole way, thinking creatively, connecting, holding the desire, serving the whole time. But in order to do that, the thing you have to develop is the tolerance for uncertainty. Yes, you might not get the result you want. That's true. Tell your brain that. You're right, brain. It's a lot of uncertainty. I might not get what I want. It is possible, right? I have a 50-50 chance. But this is what I ask myself, and this is what I ask my clients when we're in this challenge, in the revenue challenge specifically, but in general, when I'm coaching them, I ask them this question. Who do you want to be in the middle? Who do you want to be in the uncertainty? Like, how do you want to show up to uncertainty in your life? I think this is a question to deeply contemplate. This is something to really take an hour, take 30 minutes, take 20 minutes. It doesn't even have to take a long time, but start a journal prompt.
Take an hour, take 10 minutes, take 5 minutes, take 15 minutes, take 50 minutes, you know what? Just grab your journal and ask yourself, who do I want to be in the middle? Erin says she's trying to say don't quit because you might be right close to finally making some money. And if you haven't made money yet, you can just keep paying me money because I need to keep making money. So just keep paying me, and then maybe one day your day will come. But right now it's my day, and in order for my day to continue to come, I need you to give me your money. Okay? So thank you so much. And my bank account number is 12345 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I know you all want to throw in the towel because the economy and everything else is terrible right now, but don't leave me. Exactly. That is the only vibe that we need to accept around here. I do take cash, card, or check.
Go take a walk. It doesn't even have to be, you don't have to write it down. Go take a walk. Ponder it in the shower. Who do I want to be in uncertainty? I always say a true leader and a true coach is someone who can go into any uncertain situation and they bring the certainty. So what does that look like? What's that look like for you? What's that look like for all of us? So what can you be certain of in the uncertainty? Can you be certain of you giving 100% of you through the finish line? Like, I don't know what's going to happen with other people. I don't know if they're going to buy this offer. I don't know if they're going to sign up and as many of them as I anticipated. I don't know if this is going to land. But what I know is I'm going to go 100% through the finish line.
And you know what else I know? I know that if I was certain that I was going to make a lot of money, I would be willing to invest my extra money into a coaching program, because that, my friends, is the secret to success.
You can buy status by just like spending money to be around these people and then just being a cool person.
Just FYI, in case you didn't know.
Can you be certain of your ability to tolerate uncertainty? This is something I know about myself as I've developed this a lot recently. Like, I have really upped my level of tolerating the uncertainty. And so I know, I've told my husband at least 3 or 4 times recently, like, can you believe this thing? Like, where we were, the tangible result that maybe we've had at different times in our lives, and then where we are now and how much uncertainty we face to get here. Like, I am a master at tolerating uncertainty. I'll be like, can you believe your wife did this? Can you believe your wife did that? Pumping myself up all the time. My own cheerleading squad. Can you be certain of the value you offer? Like, if anything else, could you be like, I am certain of how good I am of a coach, or I am certain of how much I fight for my clients. I am certain of the value of coaching. If you don't have any of these things, start developing it. What am I certain of when it comes to the value of coaching? What am I certain of when it comes to me as someone's coach? What am I certain of if someone invests in themselves and tries this thing called coaching for them? Like, just start asking yourself, what am I certain of? What am I certain of when it comes to my offer? What am I certain of my level of service? People think this is crazy, but for a very long time in my business, not anymore, but for a very long time in my business, 8 years, 9 years-ish, I had money back guarantees on every single one of my offers. And I sold my 2K for 2K program to, so far to date, like over 6,000 people. And I've sold my 200K mastermind to over 1,000 people. You don't create at least 2K, you don't create at least 25K, I'm going to give you that money back. What? How could you do that? How could you ever make that offer? The level of certainty I have. I used to think to myself, like, listen.
And then what? You just became uncertain, so you took it away? I find it funny that she uses this to prove her point about, holding on to certainty, but then she herself doesn't offer that anymore. If you were so certain, wouldn't you offer that indefinitely? Why would you take away a policy that demonstrates how certain you are in your offers, other than maybe you aren't so certain because so many people allegedly have asked you for refunds, right? Makes you wonder what's going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to because we're not in the inside circle. But I would hazard to guess that she's probably not making the $30 million she used to be making.
Listen, I know they're going to create 25K, but what I know to be true is even if they don't, I'm going to get them on calls and I'm going to coach them until they do. I used to create make your money back calls in the 200K, and we would start them like 8 weeks out from the end of the mastermind. And I would only invite people on that hadn't made their money back yet. And I'm like, okay, we're coaching all the way through the finish line. And the only people on this call are the same people in the same boat as you. And we're just coaching on the same thing over and over. And every single one of you is getting across the finish line. That was certainty in myself. So I could tolerate offering a program where at the end, I might have coached someone for 6 months straight and then given them all of their money back. Like, what? I am certain in that of myself. I am certain in my product. I know that my products are so good, I could put that on them. The only reason I don't anymore is because now I'm certain of how I want to feel in my containers and the type of client I want to work with. And I want to work with someone who has risk tolerance. Because
That's such bullshit. I need to listen to that again because lie detector test has determined that that was a lie.
I am certain in that of myself. I am certain in my product. I know that my products are so good, I could put that on them. The only reason
Okay, I know my products are so good that I can put that offer on them. She can guarantee a refund if you don't get results or whatever, endless coaching if you don't get results, because she knows her product is so good. However,
don't anymore is because now I'm certain of how I want to feel in my containers and the type of client I want to work with.
However, I don't offer it anymore because I'm certain of how I want to feel in my containers. What does that mean? You're certain that you don't want to work? You don't want to have to do your job?
And I want to work with someone who has risk tolerance because they're better entrepreneurs and they have more success.
And I want to work with someone who has risk tolerance, aka, allegedly, in my opinion. I want to work with someone who's going to keep paying me money even when they aren't getting results. I want to work with someone who blindly follows everything I say as fact, believes what I say to be true, and doesn't ask questions. That's how I'm interpreting this. Based on what I've heard, allegedly, from people that have worked with her. I call bullshit on the fact that she removed this policy because even though she's so certain in her offers, she's just certain that she wants to work with people with higher risk tolerance. AKA, I want to work with people who aren't going to ask for their money back, who will just keep paying me for endless coaching until they finally get results.
So now I'm certain of my best client. So I don't need the offer I don't need that guarantee anymore. Because I'm like, my best client doesn't need it. So I'm certain of myself. Now I'm certain of my best client. So what are you certain of? Are you certain of the connection that you feel to your people? I am certain.
This is just like, I am mind blown at the mental gymnastics that we are witnessing take place in front of our very ears.
Certain of that. I am certain that I'm so connected to them that I will always know the thing that I need to say to them. I won't run out of ideas and I won't run out of coaching. Can you feel certain that you will keep problem solving and won't quit, right? This is even in the uncertainty. So I'm not talking about creating certainty so that you don't have to feel uncertainty. I'm saying when you are in the uncertainty and you don't have full control over the outcome and you don't know what's going to happen yet, can you hold that and tolerate it while also knowing on the other, like in one hand, you're holding and tolerating uncertainty. And yeah, I might fail. And yeah, this may not end the way I want. Yeah, this might suck. Yeah, I might feel disappointed. Yeah, this is uncomfortable. And in the other hand, can you be like, and you know what? Even though I don't know any of this stuff, here's what I do know. I feel certain that I'm going to keep problem solving and that I'm not going to quit. Can you be certain that you want to enjoy and be proud of your actions no matter what results they're creating? I tell my clients this all the time. I had this powerful realization like within the last year or so, 2 years, that I like myself better when I'm in belief. I like myself better when I'm working really hard for something. I like myself more when I'm expanding my capacity. I like myself more when I'm showing up and fighting for what I want, giving it my all, and getting up and going after any fail. I love myself more in my resilience than weakness. I like myself more when I overcome excuses and obstacles versus give in to them. I have a better experience of being me in my body when I live this way, when I have this experience. I love me in my power and in my willingness to tolerate uncertainty. I love me more in that than my intolerance to uncertainty and my mental weakness. I can't handle this. I'm not capable. I don't have the capacity. I don't like that version of myself. Have you ever stopped and thought about that? Like, do you enjoy the version of yourself that tells yourself, I'm not capable, I can't do this, it's not possible for me, I don't have the capacity? Like, when you say that out.
Suzanne says, I like myself more when people pay me and I don't have to turn up and they don't question or complain. Literally, though, that's what she's saying in a very backwards way, allegedly, in my opinion.
Loud, I've maxed out my capacity. Do you enjoy that version of you? Because at the end of the day, I was telling my students in the revenue challenge, so much of the revenue challenge is capacity work. So much of it. How many times in the revenue challenge are they telling themselves, I can't do this, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy? Like, I asked them on call 1, we've done so far at the time of recording, we've done 2 of the 7 calls. And on call 1, I asked them, if you were to quit or back away from this challenge and not go all the way through and disappear and not show up for the coaching and stop engaging with the goal, why would you do it? Like, what would be the thing? Like, let's go ahead and know it ahead of time, the thing that's going to try to take you out of this challenge. The biggest response I got, the most people said, time and energy. I'll tell myself I don't have the time. I'll tell myself I don't have the energy. Do you enjoy that version of yourself the most? Do you like that version of you? I don't like that version of me. I know that. So just for my experience of it all, regardless of whatever I create a result, what I know is I'm going to tolerate the uncertainty, because to me, the version of me who doesn't is the actual intolerable thing. Like, our brain is saying, oh, I can't tolerate certainty. No. I can't tolerate mental weakness inside of me. I can't tolerate being less of me. I can't tolerate my excuses and obstacles. I can't tolerate my bullshit. I can't tolerate wanting something and then not doing anything about it. Like, that's what I can't tolerate. I can handle some uncertainty along the way. I can handle that, but I can't handle the me who doesn't try. I can't handle the me who gives up, the me who is out of my power. That's my truth for me. I think you should explore this for you. And listen, I can actually tolerate and handle that version of myself. And many of us are, right? Right now, we are tolerating mental weakness inside of ourselves. We are tolerating quitting on ourselves. We're tolerating less than what we know we're capable of. We're tolerating telling ourselves we don't have the capacity, that we don't have the time, that we don't have the energy. We're tolerating all kinds of less than how we should be living. We're tolerating making less money than we should be making. We're tolerating less success than we should have. We're tolerating less happiness than we should have. We're tolerating less peace, less balance, less enjoyment of life. We're tolerating so much, right? We actually can handle it. We have lots of practice in it. We know what it's about. I just don't want to anymore. So the road to your most powerful self, who will coincidentally be the version of you that you probably enjoy the most, is being willing to stand strong in the face of uncertainty. And can you be willing to feel that in your body for a short period of time, for a long period of time, for as long as it takes? A day to start out? A week to start out? What about a year? A whole year of uncertainty. I was just coaching on this end, so right now.
Exactly. Space Pastry says there's tolerating and then there's facing reality. This whole podcast for me is so frustrating because I think she's, again, like I said before, just completely ignoring the fact that sometimes things just don't work. No amount of belief and effort and tolerating of uncertainty is going to get you the result you want, because it just wasn't meant to be, or there's just not a market for the thing that you're selling. I could make the greatest, most amazing balloon animals, and I could believe that I am destined to build a multi-million-dollar balloon animal empire, and I could show up every day on the streets trying to sell my balloon animals. Does that mean I'm guaranteed success, even if I wholeheartedly believe it and I hold on to the certainty that I am meant to be successful? No, because that's a terrible fucking business idea. Sorry, I'm just like, I cannot take this seriously. There's no way.
I have the public challenge that I'm running where people can join and even if they're not my higher level masterminds, get a taste of what this work is like and these types of conversations. But then I also have calls in my 200K mastermind that are just for my 200K students. And I have calls for my $2 million group that are just for them where they can get coaching on this as well. And I was in my $2 million group and we were talking about this level of uncertainty. And I told this story. I said, when I restructured my business, like my offers, and then also restructured my entire operation, back-end operations and my company and my team, everything. Like we basically just said, we're doing a complete 180.
Okay. And why? Why did we do that? Why not tell us the whole story, Stacey? Because I may have heard, allegedly, that perhaps your business isn't making as much money as it used to and you had to fire everyone because you couldn't afford it anymore. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But I'm just saying, why are we saying, oh, we had to restructure everything? Okay, so you could cut costs, presumably. If we look at all of the major corporations that do mass layoffs, Amazon, Facebook, what's the other one that I can't think of right now? Why do they lay off, 1,000 employees at once? Because they want to cut costs. So why are you restructuring your whole business if everything's going so amazing? I don't know. I just feel like there's something so disingenuous to me if we're going to create this inspirational content where we want people to, feel inspired to embrace uncertainty and improve your risk tolerance. But I'm not actually going to tell you what's going on behind the scenes of my business. And I'm not actually going to be transparent about what I've been dealing with. And instead, I'm going to make myself look like some savior who has it all together when the reality is behind the scenes, I probably don't. It just feels dishonest to me. That's all I have to say about that. Suzanne says, this hurts my brain. Same. Ma'am, this is a Wendy's. I love it.
For everything we're doing, while also like millions of dollars of revenue are coming in, it's a big ask. Like what I did was a little crazy. But while I did that, in the year that I did that, we were at break even for our expenses for 10 months. Like I dumped $6 million of expenses in 1 year. Actually, in just a couple of months, I think. There was like a period of time where it was like you could see it in my profit and loss where the expenses were going down every single month, but it did take time for them to go down. And it took time to build back up the structure. So I was at break even for 10 months. As I dumped expenses and built up new offers, sold new things, sold the same offer but different ways. And in the final 2 months of the year, bam, profitability, $1 million cash in the bank. Craziness. I asked my husband this recently because now we're like so far beyond it. I said, do you think another entrepreneur would have folded 6 months in? Like, I was like, do you realize how, like, literally how crazy it is what I did? Do you realize how awesome I am? Like, I have to tell myself this because I don't realize it all the time.
Do you realize, guys, everyone in the live chat, I just want you to ask yourself if you realize how awesome I am. Because, like, I'm just so amazing. I show up every week on these live streams super uncertain about whether or not anyone's even going to come. And I just might be here by myself with my dog talking to myself for 2 whole hours. But because I'm so amazing and incredible, I show up completely uncertain every time. And now you get to reap the benefits of me just being so incredibly amazing. So you're welcome. Hillary says, how awesome am I? I laid off my whole team. Oh my God. So true. So true.
I want all of you, like, let that one especially, like, deeply sink in.
Oh, dear God. Yeah, why not just embrace the uncertainty and keep paying all your employees if you're so sure that the money's going to come back to you?
Live with me all the time, and you live with you all the time. So likely you're not giving yourself credit as well. Like, I'm not even trying to be, like, annoying, but, like, we just don't give ourselves credit. So I spend a lot of time trying to recognize the greatness inside of me, and I'll tell my husband about it so I can tell myself about it. But seriously, like, it doesn't make sense what I was able to do. Most people would have folded 3 months in, 6 months in, 9 months in for sure, like mentally collapsed under the uncertainty. They would have stopped creating value, held back, stopped working towards the result, and either folded completely and closed their doors or stayed at break even. So
Guys, I think that this is why, and I don't know, this is more specific to people who have really like been in the industry, or you have friends maybe that are coaches, or you know people that are in the coaching industry. I think this is why we see so many coaches hold on for so long, is like this type of narrative is perpetuated. This isn't unique to Stacy is what I'm saying. It's like something we see quite commonly across the industry of your success just being, you know, one more investment away. Sunk cost fallacy comes in there where like I've spent so much money, my success is inevitable. And I really think that this is just an example of that, of like, she's been in the industry, what, 10 years now? Imagine how hard it would be to then turn around, close down your coaching business and have to go, I don't know, back into, she used to do door-to-door sales or sales at Walmart or something. Imagine having this success where she's allegedly made, you know, her business has made over $30 million to then turn around and have to shut it down and do something else. Like, obviously there'd be a sense of shame, I would assume, around that. So it's much easier to just like play these games of mental gymnastics where she's basically convincing herself that like, oh, this is just a period of uncertainty. And if I just hold the faith, I'll be able to, you know, turn things around, rather than just accepting that like, maybe this offer isn't working anymore. Hillary says that's exactly it. If you leave, you just weren't believing or working hard enough. If you just keep going, you'll eventually succeed. Exactly. And it must be even harder, I think, once you reach this kind of scale or caliber where you have had that success at one point and then things start to move back in the other direction. You're probably telling yourself, oh, well, if I just tweak, you know, a few more things, if I lower my operating costs a little bit by firing people and then I have less employees and less overhead, maybe eventually I'll be able to, you know, turn this around and get back to the glory days, right? William, so it's quite complicated because William's saying if she really made 30 million, she could have easily retired. The thing you have to really keep in mind with a lot of these coaching businesses is that their profit isn't that great. So even if her business made 30 million, the amount of money she spent on ads, on hiring her own coaches. I know the coach she works with specifically is like hundreds of thousands of dollars every year. The way that they run their offer suite, the websites, that kind of stuff, it's like, presumably some of these coaches have made a lot of money and they do have some of that money in savings. If you look at Brooke Castillo, for example, I'm pretty certain that she could probably never work again and she could just live off her investments from what she made in coaching. But I personally know people in the industry who have made a lot of money, but personally have barely made any money because their expenses are like 90% of their revenue. So it just kind of goes to show this whole invest and you'll be successful. But then if you're perpetually investing all of the money that you're finally making, you yourself aren't actually making any money. And that's the point I always really focus on is like, would you not rather run a different business where your expenses are like 10% of your revenue and you get to take home, you know, 90% of what you make? Let's say you make $100K a year. You pay 30% in taxes, 10% in your revenue. So you take home 60 grand versus making $500,000, but then your expenses are way, way, way higher. And then you're paying taxes on that. And then you end up taking home like 20K for all this extra work. It's just, I've never really understood that. Oh, I don't know what happened to the sound. Okay, I might have to refresh.
Gives them so much anxiety. Tolerated a year. Like I would have folded 6 months in. Most people would have folded uncertainty. The whole year, bringing myself back to I know what I'm creating. I've got to tolerate this uncertainty in my body. But I did. I tolerated it in my body. I grew my capacity to experience that emotion. I grew my certainty in myself. I held both of those at the same time. And now no one can take that away from me. There have been so many people reaching out to me and they're like, well, we had someone on the revenue challenge that was like, I had a $120,000 business 2 years ago. And then I made $8,000 last year. Like, I can help you with that. I made $55,000 one year and I made $5,000 the next year, or $15,000 the next year, whatever it was. Yeah, I can help you with that too. Like, my certainty is so high, it does not matter what the gap is and how big the hole feels. I'm like, we've got this. I know exactly what we have to do. The first thing is you have to develop your tolerance for uncertainty. You're not going to be certain that you're going to be able to build it back. You're not going to be certain that you're going to be able to build it beyond what it was. You're not going to be certain. There's not going to be tangible proof for a large amount of the time. You don't know yet if you can do it because you haven't done it yet. So we got to be willing to feel all of that and grow our certainty in ourselves and our capability and our capacity and our time and our energy and all of the things. And now this year, what's so crazy is I refuse to get on tax meetings. It's not very mature of myself, but I really don't enjoy doing tax meetings. And so my husband does them as part of his like role in the business. And so he got on the tax meeting and he got off and he was like, Stacey, did you know that you grew your business by $1 million of revenue? First of all, yes. And our profit is almost at 60%. Yes. And he said, well, our tax guy wants to know, like, what did you do this year? Like this, he's like, there aren't businesses doing this year. Like, what did you do? And I want to say, like, is it too simple? Is it too simple to say, I tolerated a year of uncertainty and I grew my certainty in myself and I kept showing up and I kept giving value and I believed in what I was creating more than I didn't believe. Like, yes, there was strategy, but none of it works if you're resisting your emotions the whole time, right? You could do all the right things, but if you're mentally collapsing inside of yourself, if you're emotionally collapsing inside of yourself, none of it matters. You can do all the right things and it's not going to pan out. So I want you all to take this into, if you're in the revenue challenge, take this into the revenue challenge, take this into your next launch. Take this into your first scale to 1 million. This is also where I see people really kind of unravel with themselves, is when they try to scale to 1 million. Like, they forget how freaking talented they are because they've created multiple 6-figure businesses. And in the like scale to try to double or triple that, they lose themselves. They lose themselves in the uncertainty of maybe I won't get to 1 million. Maybe all this energy and effort won't be worth it. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. They lose themselves in that. That feeling keeps them up at night. It gives them so much anxiety. They like can't function sometimes. You know, I remember my first year I was a disaster. I had so much anxiety. Like, I'm just being honest about it because I think we have to have the conversation. I had so much anxiety because everybody else in my $1 million room, they were all much further along. Like, I came in at 300K as the underdog and all of them were at 500K, but also they had systems and structures in their business in place that I didn't, that made them even more prepared to double their revenue. So I was tripling my revenue and had no systems and no processes and no skills in place that would have made me ready to scale to 1 million. So I had to do way more work, right? Inside of myself, inside of my business. And it was a heavy amount of uncertainty and feeling inadequate and feeling like I didn't belong. And I met all of that. I faced it. I got intimate with that. Like, yeah, this is a part of me that doesn't feel like I belong, that doesn't feel like I can do it, that feels less than everybody else in this room. And I'm willing to feel all of those emotions. And why do I want to scale to 1 million? Why do I want to do this work? Like, what part of me does believe it's possible, right? What am I certain of? I remember when I got kicked out, not invited back to this room. I remember telling my husband, I'm going to fight my way back in this room, but if she doesn't accept me, I am going to find another coach. I will figure it out. I'm getting to 1 million. That's what I knew inside of myself. I'm doing it. And because I had that level of certainty in the uncertainty, I asked my way back in and got in. What I knew I was willing to do is everything it took. I remember my coach was like, okay, you've got to go through master coach training. I want you to take this 100K training. You're also going to be in the $1 million training. And I'm like, yep, what I'm certain of is I'm willing to work this hard. So are you willing to do that too? And
so anyone who isn't successful, it's because you just didn't work as hard as me and you didn't believe in yourself as much as I believed in myself when I was in your position. We're definitely not going to acknowledge any, luck or timing that played into my success. being early in the market either. Irrelevant. If you want to start, you can achieve it, but you have to believe you can do it.
Who are you? Who are you lifting the heavy weight of uncertainty? Who are you when you're tolerating the discomfort and moving forward with purpose and belief of what you are creating? Like, who are you? Who do you want to be?
Hillary, I'm not sure. Hillary's asking, Brooke kicked her out because she didn't hit the sales target to qualify. I'm not sure. That's kind of what it sounded like, but I didn't even know Brooke had like $1 million coaching program. So maybe she's referring to somebody else. I'm not sure. I know her current coach is Melanie Ann Layer. So I don't know how long she's been working with her though.
I want you to be so freaking empowered. I was telling the revenue challenge, this challenge, so many people think that it's about being positive for 30 days straight. Nope. It's about being powerful for 30 days straight. It's about being powerful through the finish line of your goal. You don't need to feel positive one freaking second of it. People who are looking to hire coaches don't need your positivity. They need empowerment. They need to see you lifting the heavy weights. They need to see you facing uncertainty, tolerating discomfort, moving forward with purpose. That is the coach they want to hire because that's what's going to be required of them too. If you could just sprinkle some fucking fairy dust on them and some confetti and shoot some rainbows up their ass for them to get the result, great. That would work if you could do it, but that's not how it works. It's not just like you can't just give them mantras for their life and suddenly they have results. Like positivity is not going to fuel them either. Some of it, right? Positive expectation, the certainty will make you feel good. Service makes you feel good. Connection makes you feel good. Like there are feelings that feel good along the way, but I don't believe that empowerment feels good. If you really think about it, what feels good is what you get after empowerment. I've asked this on an entrepreneur series before. What is the actual feeling of empowerment? Like what's the vibration in your body? What is creating empowerment feel like? What's the experience of it being empowered in a challenging situation, in an obstacle, in uncertainty? It's mostly emotions that feel bad. But people tend to think, oh, it feels so good to be empowered. No, it feels good after you've empowered yourself. The empowerment itself is very difficult because you have to tell yourself you're wrong about the thing you can't do and empower yourself to do it, right? Push.
Yeah, Suzanne's asking, what's the tangible thing she actually offers? Your guess is as good as mine.
Power into yourself. That's what your people need too. So they don't need your positivity. They need your empowerment. They need you to be able to lift the heavy weights and they need to see you doing it with integrity, being a product of your product. And I want to offer.
With integrity. They need to see you doing it with integrity, says this woman. Okay, interesting choice of words.
Because I was coaching someone on this in the revenue challenge. She was saying like, I know I need to be doing more belief work. I feel like it is a bigger thing than I give it, but it tends to be the thing that I do last, or if I run out of time, not at all. And I want to offer that this, what I'm speaking about here, this work, this skill of tolerating uncertainty, of carrying the heavy weight, of moving forward, going through the finish line, holding uncertainty and tolerating it while also building up your certainty.
You know what this whole podcast is giving the same vibes as? It reminds me of so many of these like mindset coaches that will specifically reiterate the point of no amount of strategy is going to make you successful in business if you don't get your mindset right first. Basically suggesting that it's not their responsibility to teach you how to run a business. And instead, they're only there to like be rah-rah cheerleaders to make you feel better about yourself because you have to fix the mindset before you can be successful. And the strategy doesn't matter as much as it does to like believe in yourself.
This isn't just something. It's not the extra thing you do at the end of the day. It's not the thing that you do if you have time and you don't do if you don't have time. It's not just something. It's everything. It is the difference between people who make it and people who don't, people who skyrocket and people who don't, people who do extraordinary things and people who don't, people who do the impossible, people who don't. It's everything. All right. I hope you have an amazing week. If you're in the challenge, I wanted to create this episode really for you to like be a power boost, but also for any future challengers in my 200K mastermind, my $2 million group, and just anyone that's a listener of this podcast.
Okay, so she must be relaunching her 2K for 2K, I'm guessing, because that's in the description here. Let's have a look. Yeah. Are you ready to make money? Signing your first few clients as a life coach is easier than you think, and your current knowledge and experience are enough. So you don't have to be tech savvy to sell life coaching. It's not a Rubik's Cube that can only be solved by a select few. It's truly not as complicated as you think. It's as simple as meeting people, telling them you're a life coach, and offering to help them. And then all you have to do is a simple consultation and be prepared with how to handle objections. That's it. I walk you through every single step inside the 2K for 2K program. I'll tell you everything you need to know and everything you don't so that you don't get distracted. Simple isn't spending months on a website or endless hours determining the perfect messaging. Simple isn't boiling down how life coaching can help someone, your purpose, mission, and expertise, and all the ways you can help people get results into a one-sentence elevator pitch. In the beginning, you don't even know how to articulate what you do, how you do it, and who your ideal client is, and that's okay. I will help you with what you do need to know. I've helped thousands of coaches sign their first clients and finally make money as a life coach. I've found the simplest way to do it. In 2K for 2K, we remove everything from your to-do list except the most basic and vital steps. Because until your coaching practice is full of clients, you only need to focus on 2 skills: getting consultations and closing them. Our 5-step process helps you do this at any experience level. This is a master course on selling, the ultimate consultation program. Then the parts of selling you experience most uncertainty and confusion with: your offer, your niche, your pricing. I help you make these decisions right away, quickly, based not on what the industry suggests, but based on what's best for your business, your clients, and the outcome you want to create for them. My irresistible offer protocol helps you feel confident and move on to making offers to people who need your help. And if you already have an offer you're selling and you're making money, how you know this program is right for you is if you want more consultations and you want to close more of them. Your selling skills impact how hard you have to work as an entrepreneur, but it also impacts how many people actually get help from you as a coach. Because if they are signing up for a consult, they want to hire you. And if they don't, it's because of your selling 90% of the time. So your number one job is to make them feel safe and excited to do it. And that is a sales skill. Whether you are a brand new coach, still in certification, or a seasoned coach selling for years, but it feels a little stale and you know you could be selling more, 2K for 2K is the next step. Whether you want to make your first 2K or your next 20K, these 5 simple steps are everything you need to know. Okay, why doesn't she just call herself a sales coach? Like, why does she... I guess I'm just confused about why she markets herself the way she does, because to me, the sales page is basically just saying, I'm going to teach you sales. So just say that you're a sales coach, right? Like, what am I missing? Oh my goodness, chat is going crazy. Amy donated 5 channel memberships. Thank you so much. Welcome, 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 everyone.
Now you are one of us.
One of us. One of us.
And to this, I will say this.
So when I was laying on that couch and I wanted to move up this pyramid, that was one of the big breakthroughs.
Welcome to the pyramid. 2K for 2K, where you break even, but I still make 2K. What is that graph? Which graph? Did I scroll past it? Is there a graph on here? Or where was there a graph? Tell me what you're talking about. Okay. Suzanne says the thing is they don't frame it as a consult. They sign up for a breakthrough session and then they get confused when you pitch them. Of course they do it because you never told them it was a pitch. Yeah, like I remember signing up for like a 30-minute clarity call thinking that they were just like, I don't know, I was naive. I didn't know how the industry worked. I thought this person just wanted to help me solve my problem. And instead, it was just a sales pitch for her $8,000 US coaching program. I was like, I just wanted help with why are you doing this to me? So I was like, no, they don't necessarily want your coaching. They just thought you were giving something away for free. Okay, you're referring to this graph here. It won't even let me zoom in. This website is just terribly designed. Let me move my eyes a little closer to the screen. I can't tell what it says. I am trying to read the title at the top, but I can't see. I'm confused because the graph is moving in the opposite direction you'd think it should be. That's so funny. Who's going to have $8,000? Well, especially when you go thinking that it's free and then they're like, oh, by the way, if you actually want me to help you solve your problem, it's going to cost you a lot of money. She's so data driven. So true. So true. How could I forget? Okay, so in this program, she's going to teach you organic marketing. She's going to teach you making offers, clean selling, consults, overcoming objectives. Okay, no offense, but I don't think I'd be going to this woman for my organic marketing strategy because the stuff I've seen from her in the last year is the same shit people were doing on Facebook back in 2016. So I'm not really certain that she's the best person to go to learn what's working on the internet these days, but that's just my opinion. Okay, so can someone in the chat tell me, is 2K for 2K a live coaching offer or is it like an online course? Because this is kind of making it look like an online course. Like you get 5 modules, 5-step process, the online community. Okay, so then you're in like a Facebook group, presumably. Okay, you get weekly live coaching, unlimited coaching through Ask a Coach, a private podcast, and then 6 workbooks. I wonder if they called it a sales call, how many people would actually sign up for it. Exactly. It's so misleading because they take advantage of people who don't know the industry or know the lingo. Okay, it's a course, but it has live calls each week. Got it. So it's $2,000 for you to learn how to make $2,000. Love that. Or you can pay in monthly installments. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. How many of these people are also life coaches or coaches? I don't know. This is the thing that's like always been interesting to me about this particular coach is like, I know in her origin story, she claims she made 6 figures as a life coach. And then that's when she became like a coach for other life coaches. But if you're making the majority of your money that you're using to flex as your like proof of success through teaching people how to do the thing, then are you really an expert in how to do the thing? I don't know. It feels not true. Thank you so much. Amy donated another 5 memberships. So I think I'll give you guys a different sound this time. One of my personal favorites, a new sound to the board.
Again, nobody wants your fucking boring ass coaching. Nobody in the world wants it.
I always forget how long it is. Nobody in the world wants your boring ass coaching. So don't try and sell me into your pyramid scheme around here.
It's not a pyramid scheme. It's not even a scheme per se.
Actually, it's not even a scheme per se. So you know what? Sell whatever you want. I don't really care. William says, so it's how to break even / make no profit? Exactly. Spend 2K to make 2K to then be back to where you started. Aaron says, Amy is basically Santa, and I would have to agree with that statement.
I want all of you to let that one especially deeply sink in.
Thank you so much, Amy. I really appreciate it. Okay, so that is 2K for 2K. That is the latest what's happening in the world of our best friend on the earth, the ultimate coach of life coaches. We still have time, if you guys want to do something else, I don't have anything planned, so it's up to the chat, or we can call it a day and GTFO. So let me know. I will actually have a little look here in my folder of sorts and see if there is any other like shorter content. Oh, I did see, actually, maybe we'll look at this. I don't know, those of you that are in the chat right now, I'm not sure if you were around. I don't even know when this would have been, maybe 6 months ago now. Maybe not that long ago. We looked at a woman who sells a coaching program teaching people how to be famous. Does anyone remember the live stream about how to be famous? I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. Let me share my screen. This one? Why isn't it working? Is this one? Can you guys see? Okay, so it's this video here. Scam your way to fame for $4,000. I don't want it to play. Okay, and basically it was this woman here who, she herself is not famous, but she has a coaching program where she teaches other people how to be famous. Is this ringing bells? Suzanne says, oh gosh, yes, I remember that, unfortunately. Okay, so someone recently submitted a link related to her into, it was 9 months ago. Wow. I thought it was like in the summer, but anyway. So for those of you that didn't see the stream, I'll just read the description so that you can kind of get a little bit of an idea of what this woman was all about. So this is a self-proclaimed celebrity energy coach who charges thousands of dollars to teach people how to be famous. Apparently you don't need agents, auditions, or industry connections to make it. You just need her method to unlock your inner star power. So what's really inside these high-ticket programs? Let's find out together as we break down her techniques, the manipulative marketing, and the dangerous mix of manifestation, pop psychology, and empty promises to unpack the latest evolution of coaching. So she had this like webinar, and at the end of the webinar was a pitch for her coaching program where she was, oh, Bubba's dreaming. I was like, what is that sound? Where she was going to teach you how to become famous. So that's kind of, you know, a very Cliff Note summary. I have linked the live stream in the chat if you want to watch it after this one. But the whole thing kind of just made no sense, because how am I, someone who's never been famous, going to charge other people money to learn how to be famous? Like if this was Kim Kardashian hosting this, then okay, people might want to pay her money to learn how to be famous. In her case, nepotism, but let's ignore that fact. That would at least make sense because she is famous. This woman, nobody knows who she is. So like, how do you have the audacity to then turn around and charge people thousands of dollars? I don't know. Something I will never understand. But she calls herself a celebrity coach. And I guess this is her latest offer. So I don't know if she has a new masterclass. It looks like she's running a series now. But it's called Activate the It Factor that gets you followers, fans, and clients. In this free training, you will learn the Hollywood secret to being effortlessly charismatic without faking it, forcing it, or filtering yourself. So this looks like it's a minute long. We'll give it a watch.
If you're creating amazing content and still not getting seen, this is why. Some people walk into a room and instantly turn heads. Some go viral the second that they post, even when they're not saying anything new. Meanwhile, you're showing up, you're posting, you're pouring your soul into your work and wondering why it's not landing. When they get the brand deals, the fan base, the spotlight, and you are still invisible. Here's the truth. It's not because you're not good enough. It's because you haven't learned to flip the one switch that they have, the it factor. And yes, it can be turned on, like a frequency, like a light, like something in you clicks and suddenly the world pays attention. Hi, I'm Whitney Euland, the founder of How to Be Famous and celebrity coach to artists, creators, influencers, and entrepreneurs who want to make a massive impact. You've seen my clients on red carpets, at the Grammys, the Met Gala, the Tony Awards, featured in Vogue, Elle, Good Morning America, and building their own empires from scratch. But here's the thing. None of them were secretly chosen. They weren't born with a magic gene. They just learned something that you haven't been taught yet. And now it's your turn. In this free video series, the It Factor Activation, I'm going to show you exactly what the It Factor is, why it's been blocked in you, and how to activate it for real so that you can finally create the momentum, visibility, and impact that you were meant for. If you feel that tug, that quiet knowing that you were made for more, that you're supposed to be somebody, then sign up now to get instant access to the first video. You don't need more strategy. You need your energy online. Let's turn it on.
Okay, so then you will get a free training. Okay, let me just switch screens for a second. Jane Doe will sign up for this, and we'll continue down this sales page. Oh, it just instantly takes me to the training. Okay, the training's only 3 minutes. Guys, I just unlocked for us the secrets to being famous. Yeah, no examples of actual clients. No, you just have to believe and trust that her clients were featured in Vogue, at the Met Gala, on Netflix, wherever else she said. Just listen to what I say and believe that it's true, okay? That's what we're learning here today. Yeah, we never actually found out who any of her famous clients are. Nope, absolutely not. That would make too much sense. Yes, she's not famous, but she's going to teach us how to be famous because allegedly all of her clients are famous. Who her clients are, though, I guess we'll never know. Oh, let's find out why we're not famous yet and why it's not our fault. Can't wait.
I know. I just look like a random blonde lady on the internet trying to sell you something about fame. But here's the truth. I've been featured in Vogue. I built a 7-figure brand from scratch and grown an audience of over 400,000 people by doing exactly what I'm about to teach you. Not because I was the most talented or had industry connections, but because I figured out how to become undeniable.
Okay, I'm going to look her up because I don't know where on the internet she has 400,000 followers, so I must be missing something.
And that is exactly what we're doing in this series. This isn't about branding. It's not about going viral, sleeping your way to the top, optimizing your captions, or fixing your funnel. This is about magnetism, the kind that doesn't come from tactics, that comes from energy. Because chances are you've already been doing everything right. You've been showing up. You've been working hard. You've been putting your entire heart into every single thing that you do, and yet something still feels off. It's like you're almost there, but not quite. And there's a reason for that. And in this series, I'm going to show you exactly what it is and how to flip it. Let's start with something that no one talks about. There is nothing shameful about wanting to be famous, okay? Fame is not vanity. It's not self-obsession. Fame is just a resource. It is the resource of having people's attention. And attention can be used for anything. You can leverage it into money, impact, freedom, creative expression, and legacy. And here's what I believe. The world needs more good-hearted people with that resource. Because when good-hearted people become famous, they don't just shine. They light up the entire world. They shift culture. They tell stories that matter. They make people feel seen. They expand what is possible. So if you've ever felt that whisper inside of you saying, I know that I'm meant to be.
Okay, so on her Instagram, she has 125,000 followers, and her bio reads life coach to the stars. But again, like who? Now I'm clicking on her work with me. No, I want to know who your clients are, lady.
Seen? That's not ego. That's purpose. Now let's talk about why you're not famous yet. If you've ever thought, why am I not getting noticed? Or maybe I'm just not cut out for this. I need you to know that this is not a personal failure.
Yeah, this comment says script was written by AI on the last video too. I just noticed that with the that's not blank, that's blank. Also in the editing on the last video, it was clearly edited by AI because when she said the word gene, a video of the genie from Aladdin popped up. So just a little funny. Haha.
Okay, you're not broken. You just don't know the real rules to the fame game. You've probably been told to do more, niche down, network harder, hustle nonstop. But here's the truth. Your lack of fame has nothing to do with how much you are doing and everything to do with the energy behind it. Okay, stay with me. There's a reason that some people pop. You feel them the moment that they walk in a room. Now that is...
Okay, so then she also has 140,000 followers on TikTok. And I don't know. It's funny because she has like videos like this where it very clearly looks like she is an actor. So she must be like in a play or something. But like, I wouldn't say she's famous, right? So it's just interesting to me that she herself is very clearly trying to become famous while also coaching people on how to be famous. And it's just like, either you're a life coach for famous people or you yourself are famous, but you can't be telling people that you can teach them how to get famous when you yourself are trying to get famous and not succeeding at it.
Celebrity energy, aka the it factor. And no, it's not something that you're born with. It is something that you can learn how to turn on. Why haven't you turned it on yet? Because your brain, your primal nervous system, sees visibility as a threat. It thinks that being seen by a lot of people is dangerous, like saber-toothed tiger dangerous. But here's the thing. Back in the day, if you stood out from the tribe, you risked getting kicked out. And back then, getting kicked out didn't just mean a mean comment. It meant death. Finding your own food and shelter, being vulnerable to predators. Your brain literally thinks that blending in is what keeps you alive. So even now, when you try to post, pitch yourself, or step into the spotlight, your caveman brain goes, nope, that's too risky. Shrink, stay safe. Don't make a scene. Sound familiar? And the wild part is that you're not even consciously doing it, okay? It's subtle, it's energetic. It's like an invisible body odor. Your nervous system is giving off this low frequency signal saying, don't look at me, don't notice me, I can't handle it. So you're doing all the right things on the surface, but your energy is leaking. You're trying to be seen, but your subconscious is screaming, hide. And that is why you're stuck. That is why you're spinning. But here's the good news. This is fixable. This is rewirable. And that is exactly what this series is here to help you to do. This is the it factor activation. And in the next video, I'm going to show you exactly what celebrity energy really is and why everything you think you know about the it factor is probably wrong. You ready? Click into video 2. Let's flip the switch. I know, I just look like a random blonde.
Okay, now we gotta pay if we want to keep going, I'm guessing.
All right, let's.
Oh, no, it just keeps going. Oh, my goodness. I don't know if I have the mental capacity for all of this, but if you've ever felt invisible, like no one's really seeing you, this is why. This video cracked open the truth about energy and magnetism, but in the next one, we go deeper into the hidden blocks that are quietly repelling the spotlight. These aren't mindset issues or strategy flaws. They're energy leaks wired into your nervous system. And until you name them, you'll keep spinning. This feels like a surefire way to put someone into psychosis. I'm just like, if I'm out here convincing everyone that they are meant to be famous and they can be famous if they just believe, I feel like bad things are going to happen, you know?
Let's talk about the it factor, or what I call celebrity energy. Because if you've ever looked at someone online and thought, they're not even that interesting, but everything seems to work for them, you're not wrong. Some people really do seem to have that thing. They walk into a room or show up on your feed and you can't stop looking at them. Meanwhile, you've been working your ass off, fixing your aesthetics, scripting all your content, doing all of the right things, and you're still not the one who's being chosen. It's almost like you're invisible. And the truth is, it's not about what you're doing. It's about what your energy is doing. There are people with the right outfits, the lighting, the latest viral strategy, but something still feels off. You're watching them, but you don't feel them. They're technically doing everything right, but their energy just doesn't quite land. It's like going on a date with someone who's perfect on paper, right? But they give you the ick. You don't know why, you just feel it. It's like they have an energetic body odor. They can't smell it, but you can. Your nervous system picks up on it instantly.
She really loves this like energetic body odor thing, because I remember that from the presentation. She just said it in the last video and now she's saying it again in this video.
And the same thing happens online. People scroll past you not because you're boring, but because your energy is saying, don't look too close. I'm not safe to be seen. And the opposite is true too. There are people who aren't doing anything spectacular. They're not yelling, they're not grinding, they're just being. And yet somehow everything works out for them. They close deals and sign clients easily. They book the roles. They grow without even trying. And you're sitting there like, wait, I don't get this. What am I missing? And let me tell you, it's not looks. It's not charisma. It's not some secret script. It's their energy. They're not performing. They're existing in a hyper-present state. So when someone is fully in their body, clear in who they are, and safe being seen in their truth, you can feel it. That is celebrity energy. Now, I know that celebrity energy sounds like a little woo-woo, but just stay with me. Because I also didn't get this. For a long time, I was performing the right way. I was showing up online, posting consistently, tweaking my bio, trying to crack the algorithm like it was a safe with a hidden combo. I was trained, I had reps, I had talent, but something still felt off. I'd be on set one day and worrying about paying bills the next. I'd be pitching myself nonstop and getting ghosted by opportunities that I knew I was perfect for.
I'd be on set one day and afraid to pay my bills the next. So what I did was I gave up my desire to become a famous actor and instead decided to launch a coaching program where I could convince other people that I could help them become a famous actor. Because those who cannot do will teach other people how to do, and will charge thousands of dollars to teach them.
I thought I just needed to try harder. And then I heard this story about Marilyn Monroe, how she could literally turn her it factor on and off at will, how she could walk through a crowd unnoticed and then flip a switch in her energy and suddenly everyone was staring. That flipped something in my brain because I realized it wasn't about doing more. It was about being more present, more real. And once I made that shift, that's when everything changed. And that is the celebrity energy switch. And that's what we're here to activate. Now, that energy isn't hype, it's coherence. Dr. Joe Dispenza calls it heart-brain coherence. When your nervous system stops fighting itself and your thoughts, body, and voice all say the same thing, I'm safe to be seen, that's when your energy becomes magnetic. But most people, they're walking around broadcasting static. Their conscious mind is saying, go be visible, but their nervous system and body says, nope, not safe. And that contradiction creates energetic body odor. You can't smell it, but others can feel it. And it pushes people away without you even realizing it. So you're not boring, you're just blocked. And I know that because I personally lived it. Before I built this brand, before I was in Vogue, hit 7 figures, or grew a community of over 400,000 people who actually care about what I have to say, I was doing what you're probably doing. Posting, pitching, trying to get everything right, but it all just felt off. And it wasn't until I learned how to clear the energetic noise to actually feel safe being seen that things started to click. The right opportunity showed up. The right people couldn't stop watching. And it all just felt so much easier. And that is truly what I want for you.
But then when did you actually achieve your goal? I'm confused because I still feel like she wanted to be famous and she still hasn't done that. Instead, she just sells other people on the idea. Am I missing something? Or like, are other people interpreting this the same way? But to me, like, something doesn't add up here. It feels like she wanted to be famous, tried to get famous, couldn't do it, and then instead just like built this imposter brand online where she pretends to be famous and teaches other people how to do it instead. Zip says, I think it's a lot healthier to accept that some things come down to luck instead of hyper-focusing on immeasurable aspects of energy. But people won't pay for the truth. So I need to convince them that it's just the energy that I can teach them how to foster.
Because the truth is, this work is simple. You don't need to become someone else. You just need to stop blocking the version of you that the world is already waiting for. And in the next video, I'm going to show you the 3 biggest energy leaks that are keeping your light dim and the shifts that will change everything for you. These are the blocks I see in every client. They're quiet, they're sneaky, and they are stealing your magnetism. Click into video 3. Let's clear them.
Oh, well, at this point I'm hooked, so I might as well go all the way to the end.
Now that you understand what celebrity energy...
Okay, I feel like the sound quality of every single video is slightly different, and I don't understand why.
Energy is, let's talk about what's blocking it. Because most people say that they want to be seen. They say that they're confident. They say that they're ready. But their energy is telling a different story. And it's not because they're broken, it's just because their roots aren't safe. Now, in the last 2 videos, we talked about energetic leaks, those invisible signals that your body sends out saying, don't look at me, even when you think you're trying to be seen. But today, I'm going to show you exactly where those leaks come from. Because they're not random. They're coming from under the surface, from the roots of how your nervous system is wired. So I want you to think of your visibility like a plant. Your content, your audience, your brand, all of that is what is above the soil. But what actually determines whether or not you grow is the roots system. And if the roots are tangled in fear, it doesn't matter how much you water the plant. Visibility won't stick. If your roots, your nervous system feel unsafe,
like, is her mic not plugged in? Because it sounds like she's in an empty room with a fan blowing directly at wherever the audio is being sucked in.
Then nothing else will work consistently. You'll do all of the things. You'll post more, change your strategy, tweak your aesthetic, add another how-to funnel. But that's like watering wilted leaves without checking if the soil is rotten. You're treating the symptoms, not the system. Now, there are 3 core fears that live in your root
I can't get over how very clearly this script was written by AI. All of the scripts. It's kind of driving me a little bit crazy.
system. Each one is a subtle form of energetic self-protection, and each one is keeping your celebrity energy from stabilizing. But just like root rot, even small fears left unchecked can quietly destroy the growth from the inside out. So let's walk through them. Fear number 1, the fear of the unknown. This one says, I want to grow, but the minute that light hits, your system panics. Why? Because you don't become what you don't understand. If your brain can't picture what it feels like to be seen by a million people, if your subconscious links visibility with danger, with stalkers, trolls, criticism, getting canceled, or losing control, your nervous system will do everything it can to protect you. It'll flinch, it'll freeze, it will short circuit just when things start working. And just like a plant, it will stop growing in toxic soil. You will stay small in order to stay safe. Fear number 2, the fear of being ostracized. Now, this fear runs deep. It says, if I grow too big, I'll lose the people I love. If your friends and family have never done what you're doing, never chased visibility, built a brand, or been watched by strangers, even if they support you, they probably don't fully understand. And when your nervous system senses that misalignment, it pulls back. You soften your voice. You make yourself more digestible. You censor the parts of you that feel too big. But here's the truth. A plant that's root bound can't grow beyond its container. If you are twisting your truth in order to stay connected, you will never feel free to expand. Fear number 3, the fear of past embarrassment or
Okay, and the audio just changed again.
failure. Now, this one is the most personal, and it almost always starts young. You might have a core memory, shrinking on stage, speaking up in class, showing your heart online, and then getting shamed for it. Maybe someone laughed, someone shut you down, and your nervous system recorded being seen equals pain. That memory now becomes your baseline. And now every time you try to show up, some part of you pulls back. You're not scared of being famous. You're scared of being exposed again. So your energy dims just enough so that you feel safe. But that safety comes at the cost of your magnetism. Now, all of these fears are just signals from your nervous system saying that visibility doesn't feel safe yet. And if you don't know how to tend to that root system, you'll keep pruning, tweaking, overwatering, and wondering why it's still not growing. But here's the good news. You don't need to force your energy to grow. You just need to plant it somewhere safe. Now, before you click into video 4, I want you to ask yourself, which of these fears is quietly shaping your visibility? You don't have to
Blah, 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 blah. How do I get to video 4? Do I have to get all the way to the end? What if I skip to the end? Oh, you can't skip.
to fix it. Just notice it. Because once we can name it, then we can rewire it. Now, in the next video, I'm going to walk you through my fame frequency framework, the simple, powerful method that I use with clients to clear these root blocks and stabilize your celebrity energy so that you don't have to try to be magnetic, you just are. Now, this is the replanting moment. Click into video 4 and let's grow.
Damn. Okay. The fame frequency framework. I just want to know what you're selling me and how much it's going to cost. I wish I could just skip to the end.
If you resonated with the fears that we talked about in the last video, that is not a problem to fix. That is just a sign that your nervous system is working and it has been doing its job. It is protecting you, trying to keep you safe. But if you're here, it's probably time for a new kind of safety. And luckily, I'm here to show you exactly how to fix this. We're not going for the safety of playing small anymore, but the safety of being fully expressed. Because what you want isn't just visibility, it's congruence. You want to stop feeling like you're pretending, like you're invisible. You want to be seen for real and have it work. You want to make a massive impact. And the reason that you haven't yet, it's not because you're not talented, you're not worthy, or because you're not good enough. It's because you've been doing visibility from a nervous system that fears it. That's a mistake that I made for years. I had the training, the reps, the vision, but my energy was still screaming, please don't look too close. And I get it. I might just seem like another blonde woman on the internet, but I have become an international speaker, delivered keynotes in Dubai and Las Vegas, walked the red carpet at the Cannes Film Festival, attended the Grammys, and been honored as one of the most influential voices in social media by the Weibo Awards. I've hosted 2 sold-out retreats, built a 7-figure brand, and cultivated a global audience in the last 2 years. Yeah, all of that in the last 2 years. Not because I was the loudest, not because I had insider connections, but because I figured out how to flip my frequency. I didn't need a new strategy. I needed to become someone who couldn't be ignored.
Hillary says allegedly that thumbnail photo is the only red carpet photo she has. I've noticed a lot of the B-roll footage she's using is from like the same 3 different events. Like one where she's behind the scenes filming, one on the red carpet, one at that award show. Every single video, she's just recycling the same B-roll. So I'm like, how famous are you if you've only been to 3 different things?
That's when I developed the framework that I'm about to teach you. Not because it sounded cute, but because I needed it to survive. The fame frequency framework. Okay, there are 3 parts to this. And every single client that I've helped flip their energy has walked this exact path. First, we deprogram the thoughts that say that visibility equals danger. Now, these might not be conscious, but they are loud. Thoughts like, people will think I'm full of myself. If I outgrow them, I'll be alone. If I go all in and fail, everyone will know. Now, we don't just affirm over these thoughts, okay? This isn't about looking into a mirror and gaslighting yourself, saying things that you don't actually believe. We replace your thoughts so that your identity actually matches your intention. Step 2, we hack your nervous system. So next we train your body to actually feel safe being seen because you cannot fake this frequency. This is where we stabilize you so you stop burning out, ghosting, or swinging between high and hide. You don't just show up, you stay up. Number 3, you embody the energy. Now the real magic starts. Okay, this is when people start feeling you because your energy shifts, your presence sharpens, and everything you create hits harder. You stop chasing attention and you start calling it in. This is the exact process that we walk through inside of the Self-Made Celebrity, my 6-month VIP coaching program where I help artists, creatives, influencers, and entrepreneurs create their resource of fame so that they can make a massive impact in the world and create the visibility that they know that they are meant for. And it's not just a vibe reset. It's a frequency rewire from the inside out. So if you are tired of being almost there, if you're done with a feast and famine energy cycles, if you are ready to become undeniable, then join us inside. Here's what you get when you join. The full framework. You're gonna get 5 bingeable modules that walk you through rewiring your brain, hacking your nervous system, and stepping into embodiment. You're also gonna get 6 months.
I want to know who is buying this. Who's watching this thinking, you know what? This is going to be the lady that gets me famous. I just feel like if I was trying to be famous, whether I'm trying to be an actor, a singer, whatever, wouldn't it make more sense for me to spend my money on like an acting coach or voice lessons, dance classes versus some random lady on the internet who's going to teach me the energy of being famous? Like, let's be for real for a second.
Of coaching with me and my team of celebrity energy coaches. You'll get celebrity energy activations to flip your magnetism on demand. You'll also get weekly coaching and integration labs so that you're supported as you shift. You'll get guided energetic clearings to dissolve fear and expand your capacity, and you will get access to my private community of other creatives who are also about making a massive impact in the world. You will finally find your tribe. And by the way, when you join, you're not left out to figure this out on your own, okay? We have an all questions answered policy, which means that if you're ever stuck, confused, or just need a gut check, we've got you, okay? Every question gets answered in real time or inside of the private community so that you never lose momentum. And you'll get access exclusively to Whitney AI, which is your own personalized coaching assistant, trained in my tools, my teachings, and available 24/7 inside of the course portal. Whether you're working at midnight or first thing in the morning, Whitney AI is there to help you stay clear, aligned, and in motion. Now, the program is available right now for $3,500 with payment plans available, but only for the next 72 hours. Okay, after that, the price goes up to $4,200. And I do mean that. Okay, we don't do discounts or flash sales because this isn't a course. It is an identity shift. So if you are feeling the edge, if your heart is racing a little, that's not fear. That is your energy activating. You've probably felt it this whole series, that sense of, yeah, I think I am meant for more. I think I have been holding back. I think I'm ready. And you are. Okay, click the button. Let's rewire this thing. And if you're someone who likes to know exactly what you're buying, the curriculum, the bonuses, the support, don't worry because I recorded a separate video just for you. You will find that one below or linked in your email. And if you're still watching this, then good. Because in the next video, I'm going to walk you through the exact moment that this all flipped for me. It's not strategy, it's not mindset, it's the embodiment. And once you see it, you won't be able to go back. Click into video 5. Let's finish what we started.
Oh, so there's still one more? I thought we were done. Finish this video to unlock what's next. I did finish the video. Oh, click here. Watch this video for a special offer. This is your last stop before the final video.
Hello, future celebrity. I am Whitney Euland, and if you are here, then I know something about you. You are not here to stay hidden. You're not here to just play it safe, and you are so ready to be seen. You've probably always felt like you were meant for more. Not in a cringy, like I just want attention way, but in a deep soul level, I know that I'm meant here to lead kind of way. Now, the Self-Made Celebrity is here to help you unlock that version of you, because fame, it's not just for the lucky ones, and visibility, it's not just for influencers. This is about creating your own momentum and finally taking up the space that you were always meant to. So,
okay, I don't want to listen to this lady anymore. I don't know if anyone else agrees with this, but I find this kind of sales page really annoying. Maybe it's just like my purchasing behavior, but I don't want to have to be forced to sit through 6 videos to figure out what you're selling and decide whether or not I want to buy it. The fact that I can't like skip ahead is really annoying. This whole experience is really turning it off for me. The self-made celebrity. Yeah, everyone's famous if you just believe you're famous. In my mind, I'm a celebrity. That's the vibe this is giving. Hillary says, it feels like a maze. Exactly. And every time you think you reach the end, you're not at the end. So maybe I'll just let this play silently in the background while I continue to yap. But I don't know. I'm like, I can understand why you would want to do this, because obviously the purpose of these videos is to make people feel seen and kind of see themselves in the content of like, oh yes, I really do feel that way. And that is something I struggle with. And so I can see from like a sales perspective how this would be effective because you're essentially priming people for your offer. But maybe it's just because I know that I'm not interested. I just personally find it really annoying. I would much rather read through one of those like 20 scroll long sales pages that we've looked at a million times on this channel versus being forced to watch these videos and not be able to skip through them. So here it says, this is the moment to decide. If you've felt the shift, this is where it lands. This video walks you through everything inside the Self-Made Celebrity, which is the program. So you know exactly what you're saying yes to. The full 5-part framework, 6 months of expert coaching, weekly integration labs, and access to Whitney AI. This is the container that stabilizes your frequency so you could stop ghosting your power and finally hold the energy that makes you undeniable. So that's the offer. I can go straight to the checkout. I don't have to watch this video. Okay, there it is. So you can sign up today for $3,500, or you can pay $500 a month, or you can pay $1,200 every 3 months. Again, if I wanted to become famous, wouldn't I work on the actual skills that I need to be famous versus just hiring someone who's going to teach me how to be in the energy? This is giving very much like manifestation coaches. Like, buy my manifestation course and I will teach you how to become rich. Well, couldn't I just learn about investing? And maybe build a business that makes me a lot of money? And that's how I could get rich versus just paying you to teach me how to be in the energy? I don't know. I hate it here. What else is new? Thank you all for joining me on this here evening, the final live stream of 2025. I may do, as I mentioned at the beginning, I may do other streams between now and the end of the year, but nothing formal, nothing on a Monday, nothing organized. The 12 Days of Coachmas starts this weekend. If you're a channel member, you'll get first access on Friday, and everyone else will be able to receive episode 1 on Saturday, and then every single day after that leading up to Christmas Eve. So, that being said, I got nothing else to say. Bubba is dying to get out of this room. So we're going to leave it here. Thank you all so much for being here. Remember to take care, comb your hair, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.